gonna start on my face again.
No, it's not. I already turned it around. I hate it when it's up on
Yes.
your face.
No selfies right away this morning.
Yep, we're gonna give it a few minutes, let some people join us online, get some customers here in the background.
Wait for the camera, John. America loves you.
Yep. Well, I don't like waiting too long. It makes me nervous.
We can have Randy tell us jokes.
Yeah. Do you know any weed jokes, Dad?
Well,
That are appropriate for
I came in early this morning and went out
Dad jokes.
and gathered some weeds. And we'll do this when we're talking about the weeds later. I forgot that I had a pack of seeds in my pocket in my jacket, and I was out in the rain. And when I came through a while ago to get ready for this Facebook Live, I looked at my jacket, and it's now a chia jacket. Yeah.
Oh, we asked for it.
Hashtag dad jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about weeds today. You guys ready to start?
Yeah, we're ready to start that.
Let's do this.
Great segue.
That wasn't.
This liquid sunshine, I just love it. But, I found out something this morning that it's kind of disheartened me a little bit. And then, I need a little sunshine to pick me up because today is National Crayon Day. And I really appreciate that fact that you're acknowledging crayons. But I'm really disappointed that one color out of the 24 count box has gone away. And that color is dandelion. It's been one of my favorite colors. It's a pretty yellow color, and it's not going to be in the box of 24 in it. So, folks, it's probably going to be a collector's item. Get out there and pick out your 24 boxes.
It might be an item of the week in about 20 years when Keith finds it in an antique store.
Anyway, this is the time of the year when everybody's wanting their lawn to look nice and green. And probably you're seeing some of this stuff in your lawn.
My kids love this stuff. They think it's the most beautiful weed ever. They're like, why do we have to get rid of it, Mom? It's pretty.
It is a weed, but this weed has both food value and medicinal qualities. The name of that weed is dead purple nettle. It's not a hard weed to kill. You can spray it with Weed Be Gone, a broadleaf weed killer, and it'll kill it in a couple of days. The sad thing is, this weed has already dropped its seed for next year.
Nuts.
So you can kill what's there, but it's not going to prevent it from coming back next spring. So in order to do that, you've got to prevent that seed from germinating. And what you want to use there is a pre-emergence herbicide, the same way you control crabgrass. If you're looking for an organic method that you don't want to put a chemical down in your lawn, several years ago, quite by accident, I think it was the University of Nebraska discovered that corn gluten is a natural herbicide that stops germination of a lot of weeds. So it's available. We have it here too.
And I like to point out to my kids that a weed is a plant that grows somewhere that you don't want it to grow.
And you know what? When you said that, weeds have had the ability to overcome just about every circumstance to hinder their survival, other than the fact they haven't learned to grow in straight rows.
Okay.
Now here's another weed. I'm glad to see it opened. That's our dandelion. And up until the early 1800s, people would pull grass out of their lawn in order to make room for the dandelion to grow, because it makes a great salad. Everything on this plant is edible. You can eat the leaves as a salad. You can use the root. You can even use the blossom. And the dandelion got its name from the shape of the leaf. It does look like a lion's tooth. So you got the word. That's where it came from.
And it's a dandy because it's showy, colorful.
Yeah. And this plant represents it represents the moon, the stars, and the sun. The yellow blossom represents the sun. When that yellow blossom turns into the white ball, it represents the moon. And when you take that little white ball and blow it, all those seeds scatter, and they represent the stars.
And it represents more dandelions in your yard.
And that little seed can travel up to 5 miles.
Wow.
So you're either going to eat it or you're going to kill it. One way or the other, you're going to die. But that's another easy one to control. There again, Weed Be Gone, any of the broadleaf herbicides that are selective.
Do you want to get closer on that, Josh?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet. That one's pretty neat.
It's pretty.
It's pretty.
purple.
That's a good. I thought this would be good for dandelions. This little,
That's
because it's got dandelions have that big root.
yeah, it's a big long taproot. It can
So-
go as deep as 3 feet. So you're not going to get to the
Well,
bottom
no,
of the
you
root
won't get
in
it all.
3 foot. But I'll say that's a feel-good operation. When you pluck that weed out of the flower bed, if it grows back, pluck it out again. It may not be a place where you want to use a herbicide.
There's nothing more satisfying than poking at the weed.
Right. Here's one of my favorites. That's chickweed. It's one of the more difficult ones to control. It's a cool weather weed. And you need to treat it early. And you need to treat that with the Weed Be Gone, chickweed, clover, and oxalis killer. And if you got clover in your lawn and you don't want it in there, use this early. Clover is really green and robust right now.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, here's one. Josh is telling me that his yard is full of it.
Oh yeah, my children hate it.
That's
Yeah, we've got
that's
those
a
too.
painful little. It's a Canada thistle,
They get huge.
they
I
do
think
get
I have
huge.
one that's about this big already.
and there again, they're not hard to kill. Any of your selective broadleaf herbicides,
This is one where I'd be like, ah, and I would just get it.
but use your Weed Be Gone. Use the Scott's fertilizer and weed killer together. When you're using the Scott's granular product, you don't want to use it on a day like today.
Spiders.
You want to wait until the rain stops. The leaves are really good and wet, and then it's not going to rain again for 24 hours because that herbicide has to work through the leaf of the plant. Okay. Here's a nasty looking one too. This is curly dock.
So national pick.
And curly dock is it's another broadleaf weed, controlled by Weed Be Gone, by the Scott's Weed and Feed +2.
There's other kinds of it. I don't want the big ones.
Same
I
one.
want the ones that you pick.
Now we'll just we'll go over a few things with the herbicides. This time of the year you got a lot of the real grassy weeds. They don't have a lot of leaf for the herbicide to stick to, so you have to use more of a specialty herbicide. This one focuses on what I call the weedy or the grassy type weeds, nutsedge, crabgrass, any of those little viney, grassy looking weeds. And there again, you got to treat for those early when it's cool because they thrive in cool weather. It looks like I'm going to get mud on my samples.
We can wipe them down.
This one, Roundup. Everybody talks about Roundup. Everybody knows Roundup. This is not a selective weed killer. This will kill weeds and grass. So use it where you want to kill both. Under fences, along borders, not in your lawn. This one, this is Roundup, but it's specifically marked for poison ivy. And poison ivy is a woody stemmed plant. Your regular Roundup won't kill woody stem plants. This is more of a brush killer. And we have specific brush killers that are more potent. You've got honeysuckle, poison oak, poison ivy. On a larger scale, we've got a more concentrated version of this.
Why would you want to kill honeysuckle? That smells
Can
good
be-
at least.
Can be invasive.
Okay.
This one, we haven't talked about this one yet, have we? This one is a soil sterilant. It'll actually sterilize the soil where nothing will grow there for a year. Be very careful with these type of herbicides. They have specific uses, specific areas where they can be used. And with everything that I've talked about here today, always read and follow the label directions. You don't want any of this to contaminate our water sources. You don't want it to run off. This one does have the ability to leach, which means instead of a nice straight line, it could leach into your lawn and it kill some of your grass where you don't want it to. So follow the directions.
Yeah, and you'll notice on some of these bottles, the instructions aren't right there on the back. You have to open up this little plastic seal, and then you've got a good little booklet down there. It's a little difficult, but you can get it. And it comes back here, and there's multiple pages of information. That's where you'll find all of your information. Just be aware of that.
And like I say, we are glad for the liquid sunshine out there today. I just want to make everybody aware. We've got a good selection of plants. We've got some beautiful blueberries out there. And just be aware, with the exception of a few of our onion plants that we do get shipped in, all the plants that are outside are locally grown. Locally grown plants, in my opinion, are superior to plants that are shipped in because we know where these came from and we know how they were grown.
Yeah. And we get to know the growers over time,
Exactly.
too, instead of going through some catalog or something like that. Yeah. So I think that was pretty informative. I hope you guys can take care of some of the weeds in your garden when it clears up and you can get outside and do that.
And like we always say, we don't mind your questions. We don't mind them at all. So if you've got a weed, bring me a sample. If I can't identify it on the spot, I'll take it with me and we'll figure out what it is and how to control it.
Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you the next time.